back to the Kimberly Lovey podcast. I am your host, Kimberly Lovey. You guys, I am finally going to talk to you about the most amazing party we threw for Charlotte. It was an outdoor movie night, and so many of you saw the pictures on Instagram and thought it was such an amazing idea for a summer birthday or a summer party. And let me tell you, it truly was spectacular. So I'm going to tell you all the details as to how we did it, and hopefully you can recreate it in your own way. Okay, keep in mind, Charlotte did start to get sick at the way beginning of the party. And it really unfolded into this kind of a nightmare situation, and she was hospitalized. So I will podcast about that, but right now we're still sort of figuring it out. Thankfully, she didn't get anybody else sick, and she was masked and she wasn't fully sick yet. But it did end up being quite a story. So stay tuned for that. But I will say she was not able to fully enjoy it because she was starting to not feel well. And that really took a lot of the joy out of it for me personally as a mom. And like now when I look back at the party, my heart feels more broken than excitement. So I'm going to try and just give you the highlights as to how I set this up, because so many of you saw her party and were like dying to hear all about it. So I will say it was awesome. So Charlotte turned 5, and I really haven't thrown her like a really good party because first we had the pandemic, and then Carter's had one really good party, but mostly she didn't have a milestone birthday yet. And so this was like her big one, her big 5-year-old party. And she's been asking, if you guys have kids, I know you do, you guys know how the kids start asking about their next birthday, like the day after their birthday. So she's been asking about her birthday party for so long. So I knew this was something important to her. Okay, so I decided to have it at our house, and we did an outdoor movie night. And I got this idea because I had seen other moms doing it on Instagram, and I found the company that does it locally. It's called Outdoor Movies for You. And it is such a great company. Carrie from that company is great. And if you guys want her information, send me a DM and I'll kind of connect you, or you can find them on Instagram. But she's awesome. Okay, so it's her company. And so basically they do so much of it for you. They have a million different packages and all this kind of stuff. But basically what it is they come out and they have like a giant movie screen, and then you separately purchase chairs if you want, which we did. We got these like blow up chairs for all the kids. And so we chose the movie Sing 2 because it's good for boys and girls and adults. You know, it's upbeat and it's just like a really good like movie for all basically. And so what I did was I purchased the package where they set up all the chairs for you, and then they also create a little kind of like personalized goodie box for your child and all their friends. So everybody gets this like white box, and it has popcorn, it has red vines, it has sour punch straws, all the sugar, and then it has like a light up glow stick that they can take as a party favor. And then additionally, because I purchased the chairs, the kids can also take the chairs home, and they're these really cool blow up chairs that are like cozy and modern looking, etc. So I got that package from her. And then what happened that was super funny was I thought I got the package where she also purchases pizza for everybody. So about an hour before, she comes to set up with her crew, and I was like, oh, by the way, here's the table that you can put the pizza on. And she's like, what? We're not bringing pizza. I'm like, you're not? She's like, no, you didn't get that package. And I'm like, oh. So obviously I start to panic for like a solid 3 seconds, and I collected myself immediately, and I was like, I'm just gonna order it now. We have over an hour. It's not a problem. So we had about, how many guests? We had about 25 kids and 25 adults. It was 50 people. That's exactly what it was. And we would have probably had closer to, 75 or 80 people, but we had her birthday on a holiday weekend. So her birthday is July 2nd, and this weekend it was Saturday. And so because this was a movie situation, and this is the part I did not think through, and so it kind of got crazy, and this is how we figured it out. So basically it was Saturday, July 2nd, leading into July 4th weekend. Okay, I signed the contract with this company, and literally the second I am done signing the contract, I realize, oh my gosh, Carrie just said that they only start the movies like at like sundown. And so I looked it up, and it was going to be like 8:15 or something. And so I'm like, oh my God, 8:15 at night with a bunch of 5-year-olds, that's way too late to start a movie. Like, they're going to be a mess. This is a disaster. And so I realized that we were going to have to basically, I like called her immediately. I'm like, can we please start it at like 6:30? And she's like, absolutely not. You won't be able to see anything on the screen. It needs to be dark. I'm like, how about 7:45? Can we please like start it at least like 7:45? Because then we'll be done by like 9:15. So she kind of begrudgingly agreed. So we did that. We ended up starting it at 7:45. We were done around 9:15, and that part worked out. But just be aware, if you are going to plan an outdoor movie night and it's during the summer, it might be really late because you really can't see the screen very well otherwise. So this would be great for like older kids, or maybe even for like a winter party or any other season where it doesn't get dark so late. So that was like a kind of a big faux pas. Okay, so then the next thing that happened was that I realized, I'm like, okay, great, the kids are all squared away. But then I was like, okay, wait a minute. So now I have a bunch of adults on a Saturday night that are basically stuck at my house for 3 hours. And what am I going to do with them? Like, they're not going to want to sit down and watch Sing 2, you know? So I realized I basically am now hosting 2 separate parties, because now I've got a room of adults on a Saturday night and I have the kids. So while the kids are entertained, I have to make sure the adults are comfortable and mildly entertained. Okay, so then I was like, I know what we can do. We can get a guitarist to come in and just play some like nice mellow music in the background, just so it's kind of like, you know, more entertaining feeling. I am going to rent tables and chairs, and I'm going to get a bar. So mama gets a bar, honey. Yes, we got a professional staff, and we ended up having them have people that also clean up. So I didn't have to bring in anyone to help me clean up. And also, my birthday is July 4th. So I didn't tell anyone that. But like in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is kind of cool, because then it's sort of like I get to have a bit of like a quasi birthday, whatever, social experience, you know, with my friends, like because all these people are our friends too, me and Brian. So that's what we did. We rented tables and chairs, which, by the way, if you haven't done that, it's so cheap. Unless it's like really last minute on a holiday weekend, then they'll jack up the price. But tables and chairs, super inexpensive. And then they bring you linens too. So that was great, because then we had 3 round tables set up. And then I went to the dollar store and got picture frames, and I got fake flowers and vases and candles and all this stuff, all for $1 each item. And I basically kind of like set up the tables. So it looked really pretty. I'll post pictures on, I almost said I'll send you guys pictures. I'll post pictures on Instagram, and you'll see, like, it looked really good. So setting up tables and chairs was not expensive, and kind of decorating it was also not expensive. So I would say that's a really good tip if you're ever going to throw any party. So great, because I really didn't want people like moseying inside too much, you know, COVID, all that stuff. And I wanted all of us to feel like we could see our children if we wanted to. So that was really cool. Okay, and then I also had gotten Charlotte balloons with her, like it was kind of like an arch and it had her name on it. And that was a great way of like making it feel like the kids area with the movie area was sort of sectioned off. So when you got to our grass, it was sort of like you go underneath the arch and then you enter like the movie theater area. So that was a really kind of subtle way of not only decorating the place, but also, and like making Charlotte feel special on her birthday, but also kind of separating the areas so that the kids had their little play area or whatever movie night area, and then the adults on the other side of our house, of our backyard, I should say, which is like very close by, we kind of had our own thing. And then I also had the restaurant lights, you know, that hang. I forget what they call them. So we had those little lights that hang, and so that made it seem like a really good ambiance. And again, the bartender, the guitarist, you guys, it was so fun. Like all the moms ended up hanging out, having a drink, a glass of wine or 2 or whatever. And then all the dads ended up hanging out at Brian's bar with him. And so he was so excited because he never gets to share all his bar, whatever, all his scotch and all that stuff. I don't drink that. So he loved hosting all the men at his bar. And it was literally the best party. And what we did was So we basically had the party from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. was like the window. So then the first hour and a half, all of us were together, the adults, the kids, everybody. I served pizza for the kids, and I had that kind of on a separate station outside on like a table. And then I separately had gotten Stonefire Grill for the adults, and that was inside. And it was a way of kind of separating, the adult food from the kids' food. Like if the kids wanted some Stonefire Grill, fine, but like it's salads, it's meats, it's, things that kids don't generally love, but, everyone can eat anything. But it was just a good way to make sure everybody knew like there's better food, I hate to say it, for the adults. And that kind of goes back to my podcast where I talked about how to throw an awesome kids birthday party. That was one of the tips, is like get nicer food for the adults, so it's like not just pizza. That's exactly what I did at this party. It worked out so nicely. So yeah, we had basically everybody eating for the first hour and a half, kind of mingling, gathering, playing around in our backyard, hanging out, all that stuff. And then we did the cake again early, because I feel like there's nothing worse than you're at a party and you're waiting for the cake. And it takes forever. Like this, we kind of did it like fast. And part of that was because Charlotte was not feeling 100%, and I didn't know if she was going to go down hard or not, or if she was going to be okay. And so I wanted to make sure that she got to hear her happy birthday. And so we did that outside. And also I had COVID tested her and Carter the day before and that morning to make sure, because they had said they had a little sore throat. So anyway, all that to say, that was the first half of the party, 6:30 to about 7:45. We did all of our eating, our settling in, everybody's gathering, all that good stuff. And then by 7:45, we sat down, the kids got settled in, started the movie, and then the guitarist started playing more for the adults. And it was just honestly the best party. It was such a fun party. The biggest expenses were the outdoor movies by you, the bartender, and the balloons. Those dang balloons are expensive, man. And they're also not great for the environment, by the way. Oh, and you know what else I got was for our front lawn? I got the number 5. That's like a light up sign, number 5. And it was a cute way of decorating our house so that people knew, oh, this is their house, we're at the right place. And I also had our balloon person add a couple balloons on the outside too, because I feel like when you're trying to find a party, you want to make sure like you actually can find it and you're going to the right place. So that is what we did for that party. It was so great. I highly recommend that kind of party. I think it's probably a better party for like 8 and 9-year-olds. And we did it where we had, again, 25 kids, siblings welcome, all that kind of stuff. And we did pay per head, but it's even good for like a group of 12 kids or something like that. But the way we do our parties, as I mentioned in the previous episode 64, I think it is, that basically, is a great way to host, any party size, but we always do the more the merrier. So I hope that this was helpful. I know you guys were really, really excited to hear all about this one. So I definitely recommend doing that kind of party. And thanks for listening. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right. That is it for today. Now, as you know, some of our best conversations actually happen after the show. So I want you to find me on Instagram at Kimberly Lovey and let me know your thoughts about today's show. You can screenshot this episode and let us know what your biggest takeaway was and tag me at Kimberly Lovey and we can share it on our stories. I will see you again, same time, same place next week.